Hey guys, welcome back to a new PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale Alive. I've talked about characters for nearly every video. In fact, I can't remember a video where I haven't talked about characters. Halloween, I talked about horror-based characters. November, talked about the characters I wanted to see. December, I believe I made the top 5 third-party and first-party. Or was that November? Either way. January, I was talking about, I know something else about characters. February, I talked about female characters. But today, when I stop talking about characters, I hit my computer. My apologies. I want to talk about something else. I was going to talk about stages, but I don't have much of an influence to talk about that just yet. So I want to talk about a new mode that has not been put into PlayStation All-Stars that has to be in for a sequel. The Adventure Mode. Nearly every game has an Adventure Mode, and it kind of shocks me that PlayStation All-Stars does not. Considering that most PlayStation titles have their own Adventure Mode, considering that also every title that has a representative has an Adventure Mode too. However, I'm not going to go deep into story or anything else like that, or levels, because I want to talk about stuff I can talk about, and my PlayStation history isn't really all that great. Yeah, honestly. I will do my best though. Now let's start it off. So here are my ideas for the Adventure Mode. I don't have an idea for a story, however I do have ideas of what a premise could very well be. When I mean premise, I mean villains. Of course we should have Radic, or Radic, or however you're pronouncing it. It's Radic, right? Yeah, it's Radic. Zeus, and maybe Sweet Tooth if Calypso is not a playable character. I've heard people would like Calypso playable, but if he's not, Sweet Tooth should be tricked into joining their Zeus and Radic's side. Maybe Dr. Nefarious can join them. Other PlayStation villains, and one leading them, or what seems like leading them, is Polygon Man. He should also return for the Adventure Mode, or maybe or just stay in the Arcade Mode. I'm not entirely sure. Either way is fine with me. However, halfway through, or at least a little bit farther than that, we should reveal the true villain of the game, who I believe should be an original character, because if it's a character from another franchise, it would be unfair to some of the other characters, and this one character who recognizes them, because it's just an unfair advantage for them. It's like, hey, I know them, I know exactly how to beat them. It's like, oh, go on ahead, guy. You go on ahead, you big douche. Have all the fun, why don't you? You should be an original character so that every character is just like, well, what the fuck? What do we do here? And it should be a hybrid between the rated M kind of games PlayStation has and the rated E kind of games PlayStation has. Considering that Sony and PlayStation kind of does one thing that Nintendo and Microsoft doesn't. Nintendo focuses on more family games and kids games like Mario, Zelda, okay, family games mainly, Metroid, Pokemon, even if it has a dark storyline, it's still mainly for family. They don't really go into the whole blood, gore, swearing every 5 seconds thing. But if you want the total opposite, you could go to Microsoft, who doesn't really focus on like the family-friendly thing. They just get another company, Rare, to do that for them. PlayStation, on the other hand, has games that are family-friendly, gore fest, swear all the time, probably some sex in there too, and sometimes slap dab in the middle like Infamous. We should have a boss that represents that, like a multi-personality one. Like a personality that's like this hardcore, serious, I'm gonna kill you all, boss. And the other one should be a comical relief, kind of like Dr. Nefarious boss. Like, it should switch between his personality. I'd say more of a hybrid between Zeus and Dr. Nefarious. I've been mentioning Dr. Nefarious a lot lately. That's okay. How will the levels play out? Well, I don't know levels exactly, I don't plan everything out. I did have this idea, though. It should go in order from PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 4, with levels going from, I don't know, very first PlayStation game. So after doing my research and focusing mainly on the roster we have in PlayStation All-Stars 1, because I don't know about any other character, we would start with Parappa and end somewhere in the PlayStation 4 era. I mean, it's a great way. And for characters that can't really have a level to represent them, they could just be thrown into the story as a character that has like a backstory as to why they're there. You start with Parappa, shit goes down, and it goes from Parappa to, from what my research says, Medieval, Ape Escape, no. Deco Domo Iziso, I forget what it's called, but Toro's game, then Ape Escape, somewhere Tekken's in there, if Hayachi returns, because I can't really guarantee third party. And then we should move on to, not PlayStation 2 era, but the PlayStation 1 itself. Yes, I thought of a level based around the system itself. You're actually fighting on the system, and the background is the menu that you had back in on that system. Like, for PlayStation 1, it's most likely just the logo of PlayStation with nothing but blackness. But there you should fight a boss or a representative of, or just it should just be a transition level. There should be a lot of bosses, not just one for every transition. At the end of the PlayStation 2 era, you fight on a PlayStation 2 with the towers that you see in the PlayStation 2's menu, and those little dots that fly around. PlayStation 3, you should fight on a giant PlayStation 3 with the wavy menu there in the background. And right before the last level, you should fight on a PlayStation 4 that has the same menu that the PlayStation 4 has. And there should also be bosses in there, too, for the transition. Maybe original bosses based around those systems. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm sure in DeviantArt there's a PlayStation 1 as a boss, or a PlayStation 2 as a boss. Maybe Vita and PSP, but I'm not sure how that would work. This way, if you do the timeline and having these transition levels, it would allow new PlayStation players to know about the history of PlayStation without being forced to read everything. Also, it will give them a chance to be introduced to these characters, while also at the same time not being forced either. They'll just be going throughout the story. And for retro PlayStation characters, players, sorry about that, it'll be like, hey, I remember this, hey, I remember that, hey, I remember this. It'll be like, oh, I can't wait for this, I can't wait for that, I can't wait to play that. Because it'll be introducing new old characters that the newer PlayStation fans aren't really familiar with. And it would just be great. I mean, they'll be like, oh, I thought this other character would be bad. No, actually, they're great. Boom! That's how you make an adventure mode. Story-wise and level design-wise, I have a lot more ideas. One more idea is how the hell are we going to do minions and bosses with the all-star meters? Because that's going to be difficult. How are bosses going to defeat you? How are you going to defeat bosses? Here's an idea I have. Health meters. That's right, health meters. But not for the actual gameplay of All-Stars. Only for the adventure mode and an alternate mode you could play in the game itself. Like you have the regular All-Star meter mode you have, and then there's another mode, stock, life, time, and then all of a sudden you go to health meter. And it's like, oh, new mode. What's this from? The adventure mode. Oh, what? This will make things easier. It will remove the all-star moves and just keep your regular moves. That way people would stop complaining that there's nothing to do. And also it will make it possible for an adventure mode to have to fight minions and shit. And so the minions can defeat you because you will also have your own health meter. Same goes for boss fights. Let's say you get flown out of the screen though. Like, not like Smash Brothers, but like there are some moves that can fly you a little bit farther than others. And like you go outside the screen where the boss is, or where you're not supposed to be. Your health will slowly or dramatically decrease, and you have to get the fuck out of there before you die. And if you die, another character you could be playing as will pop up. In the total you could play as would be 4 to 5, I'm not sure. The health meters will make it possible to have an adventure mode and make it very easier. At the same time, a new mode for the multiplayer. And, yeah, I'm not sure how the items would work either. Maybe they can have the same purpose, just instead of removing the all-star points, removing health. And remember those cubes that were from Ratchet and Clank? You had the puncher used to get the points. They would have the same purpose, but except for health. Now, what if you're fighting another character? Like, in Super Smash Bros. Brawl's Subspace Emissary, there was a part where Mario and Pit had to fight Link and Yoshi. Well, you should go back to the original PlayStation, All-Stars gameplay, where you had to use the All-Star meters to defeat them. That would be like a more retrospective, and it would be more entertaining and easier to beat them. For only that mode, though. That's health meters. I had one more idea. Oh yeah, cutscenes and interaction. PlayStation, Sony, and Sony Monica. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, I'm a dick. But please do not hold back when it comes to interaction just because it's a crossover. I've seen many people do this. Mario Sonic at the Olympic Games, Cartoon Network, Punch Time Explosion. It's just text, text, text. Hey, we have the original voice actors. People want to see real interaction, but we're not going to give it to them. Text, text, text. Do what Subspace Emissary and Dissidia did. If you don't know, Dissidia is a Final Fantasy game where it was a crossover fighting game. Never played it, but it looks funny, so I want to play it. Ooh, I want to play it. Ooh. Have the original voice actors come back, have fully animated cutscenes, have the characters interacting with one another, have some comical relief moments, they have some serious moments at the same time, for the same reason, just for some retrospective of PlayStation history with its family-friendly and also mature audience. Yes! Full interaction. And don't just make the characters quiet and just nod to one another like in the Subspace Emissary. That's not a bad thing because Nintendo didn't really have much of a choice. Mario, Link, and at the time, Pit and Samus, the Pokemon trainer, they had their own voices, but they didn't talk in their own games. And giving them, and making them talk will make them, be like, what the fuck? Mario talking? Oh, I've never seen this before. Minus in the TV show, but that's TV show. In the game, holy shit. There's some game characters that could talk, but only with text. Seeing them talk with full... well, that actually would be more of an advancement. But PlayStation, all of your characters, minus Sackboy, and maybe Sir Daniel, if you make it, unless you make it so that everyone can understand his mumbling, can talk. All of them can talk. From Kratos, Parappa, Sweet Tooth, DLC, Isaac Clarke, Cat, they all can talk, minus with the exception of Sackboy, and, unless they make it so that the mumbling can be understood, Sir Daniel. Even characters that spoke different languages like Hayachi, Toro, and Cat could be easily understood by the other characters. Don't know why, but yeah. So don't hold back. Don't just make it text cutscene into simple portrait pictures of them going, and with only one voice clip of going, because that's just terrible. That's just terrible. Fully animated, fully voice-acted cutscenes. I know those can be difficult, but if you want to have a great crossover fighting game that a lot of people will remember, do that. Now, anyone who works with Sony is connected at Sony, please send this to them. I beg of you. Okay, those are my ideas for a PlayStation All-Stars Adventure Mode. I'm not sure if this would go for a potential sequel. Oh, in case you guys didn't know, recently there's a patch being released to balance out characters of PlayStation All-Stars, which gives me hope that the game could come back and make a big comeback. So, yeah. Just want to mention that patch. Anyway, if you guys like my adventure mode ideas or you have your own, put your comments down below. Like the video, favorite, subscribe, and if you want to see more PlayStation All-Stars videos or more other blog videos I do, or other short films and collection videos I do, just subscribe, and we also fish in the ceiling at least once in our lives.
I won't let fate be my guide. I will stand and will make my cry for pride.